Like, imagine if we spent on the exploration and the technology of the ocean what we've spent on the space programs in the last 40 years.
Are you intentionally quoting from Robert Ballard, discoverer of the Titanic, who in his TED Talk said, "Why are we wasting billions on trying to get space stations going? With 1/100th of the price, we can get a sea station going and a new nation to create a better government."
Busted.
Than the clusterfuck we have now.
Allison normally does news, but we just been talking our way right through it. So
I got the BioShock reference. They don't know what you're talking about.
Love Boat, you old fucks.
Love
Boat. Do you get it now?
I love the Love Boat.
Yeah, we want to create Love Boat.
What is it? Where do you see it? Let's just go 25 years in the future. If things, not in a utopian future, but if things just keep going as they're going, or the folks that you've spoken about are kind of on their A game, where do you think we'll be in 25 years?
In 25 years, I'd like to see a diversity of nations on the sea recognized by the United Nations. You got your socialist seastead. You got your anarcho-capitalist seastead. You have the seasteads instantiating ideas that we haven't thought of and have not been considered, that some freak out there is thinking of, some Benjamin Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And we have multiple floating nations out there that compete for citizens. And we have a market of competing governments where on land we have a monopoly of governments where they just kind of claim monopoly control over you. They tax you out the ass. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
If you have houseboats on the sea, if you can float, you can detach from your government, join another government. You get pissed off, you can just leave and go somewhere else.
You become like Hollywood making films. Like you just sit around and you go, well, we're not going to film in L.A. because we're tired of being raped by the government. Then Louisiana comes over and goes, hey, come on over and do your shit over here. And then North Carolina goes, whoa, not so fast.
Right.
We got things to offer, too. And now you got suitors, multiple suitors.
Yes.
And they're trying to lure your dinghy over to their berth.
This is the key idea of seasteading, and I think I'm about to convert you to a seasteader.
Listen, I love this idea. You know what it is? Honestly, you hear these stories where it's like, well, California think about relaxing their taxes on filmmaking because of the flight and whatever, and it's like, good. That's right.
Right.
No, because Louisiana forced us to get our shit together because everyone got on a fucking airplane and went, fuck you, California. You're greedy. And without Louisiana and without Canada and without Prague and without whatever, do you think California would be reconsidering their taxation of these film crews that are leaving town every fucking day to go shoot somewhere else? Of course they wouldn't be reconsidering shit. They'd be raising the shit. But now they have to get their shit together because we're going to Louisiana. Fuck you, California.
Yes.
And they're forced them to get their shit together. I like it.
Yes. I mean, human beings are selfish.
Yes, they're pieces of floating shit.
They're pieces of floating shit. And if you accept that, then you accept that competition to serve others, competition to profit by serving others, is what makes things better.
Yes, it forces you to get your shit together.
Yes. And if I have a monopoly, if you have a monopoly over all podcasts and no one else is allowed to make a podcast, you're free to suck as much as you want. But you try to be as entertaining as possible because other people are competing to take your shit away from you. And we seasteaders want to apply that to governance. That's the key idea of seasteading.
Ooh, I like this.
We want competitive governance out on the water because the ocean is liquid is fundamentally different from land. You know, you're born into a government. They claim monopoly control over you. They tax you out the ass. They give you shitty services. There's nothing you can do about it. You can move among states, but you can't go to another nation and take your home with you.
If you're from Cuba, you can't do anything about it, or depending on what system and where you were born. But there's not a lot you can do about it, depending on what side of the Berlin Wall you're born on.
Yes. But if you're on the ocean, you can float. You're mobile.
Right.
Nations can only form if people choose to attach to each other.
I like it, and thus it forces you to get your shit together.
It forces governments to be like a company, and it allows citizens to be like customers.
That's right.
And then they'll compete to please us.
a dinghy in every garage and a squid in every pot. That's what I say. Joe, I like you because we're simpatico on this whole part about competition. I keep telling people all the time, you can't just ask people to do the right thing. You have to give them a little incentive, stuff they may not even know. I don't know why we think people, the government, or anyone's going to do the right thing without the incentive in the competition. That forces it, and this whole seasteading thing, man, that just takes it to a whole new strata. That is just absolutely amazing. I love that. I just love that idea. I just love that idea. So until next time, Adam Carolla for Joe Quirk, Allison Rosen, and Bald Ryan saying, mahalo.
Love boat, you old fucks.